Hello, All-State bassists. Today we're going to be looking at one of the most important bass excerpts, the opening to Mahler's Second Symphony. This symphony begins with the cellos and basses playing the opening melodic material. The first thing you want to look at in the opening are the text and markings written by Mahler. He writes on the top in German that this is supposed to be played with serious and solemn expression. The first measure is marked wild and is played triple forte with both a sforzando and a wedge accent on the first note. The next entrance is marked the same way, which is followed by a C minor scale played with an accelerando. You'll want to make sure that you have a lot of rosin on your bow for this excerpt and get closer to the bridge so that you have enough intensity in your sound. My teacher at Juilliard from the New York Philharmonic always said that this should be like ripping the strings off of your bass. After the first few measures, you'll notice that Mahler writes a tempo. My suggestion is that in measure 5, you should set up the tempo between the 16th note and the 8th note, so that you can go straight in time in measure 6 to your desired tempo. You might think that this excerpt would be easier at a slower tempo, but I suggest that you pick a tempo somewhere between quarter note equals 80 to 84. The reason is because the next section alternates between subdivisions of 4 and triplets. You don't want to be so slow so that you have to manually place the bow on the string in between each rest. This can disrupt your rhythm in a bad way. You'll need to carefully subdivide in this excerpt, so I suggest putting the metronome on with subdivisions of 4 and then with 3 to practice the triplets. In measure 8, Mahler writes that the music is always heavy, so make sure that you have some depth of sound to your mezzo forte. The first time you'll want to truly back away is in the subito piano in measure 12. Make sure that you go through this music and notice every single dynamic marking that Mahler wrote, since he was very particular. There's a subito forte in the next measure, which goes down to piano, and then another subito forte in measure 14. In measure 15, play the top line of the divisi, since that's standard practice in auditions. From measures 16 to 18, you'll want to make sure that you're always getting quieter, because measure 20 is triple piano. Keep in mind that we started this excerpt triple forte, so you have to be extreme in your dynamic range to make these dynamics audible. In the final measure of this excerpt, make sure you don't crescendo on the scale going up, since Mahler writes sempre pianissimo. You can't go wrong studying every marking in this excerpt and trying to play everything written. Even though there's a lot written down, it's worth focusing on what's on the page since it makes a huge difference. If you want to listen to a recording on YouTube, I suggest searching for Claudio Abbato's live recording with the Lucerne Festival Orchestra from 2004. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email, and good luck with the audition.